Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Weishuhn. If you enjoy real-world hunting and fishing talk, you're really going to enjoy listening to my good friend, Luke Clayton, and his guest for the next hour.
This is David Fox, and welcome to Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Luke has been a recognized outdoors writer for the past 3 decades and writes for a host of outdoor publications. Luke pens a weekly newspaper outdoors column that appears in over 40 Texas newspapers. Luke is on the pro staff of Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything air gun related. Smoking techs, electric smokers, feel free to contact Luke through his website, catfishradio.org. Now let's join Luke and his guests for this week's show.
Thank you, guys. And folks, it is Campfire Talk time. Mr. Larry Weishuhn is down at the Cotton Ranch, Kaufman County, with our friends David and Edgar Cotton. And I'm going to be joining him later this afternoon with some other good friends. Bill Carey is going to come down. Oh, gosh, there's going to be Jeff Rice will be there. Of course, David and Edgar and William, their friend that lives down there, is going to come over. We're going to have a pre-something get-together. Larry, thank you for standing by, and thank you for being with us today.
Oh, absolutely, Luke. We've been together now for 18-plus years, looking for another 18-plus years. Before we really get into what I want to talk about this morning, we need to thank DSC, Conservation Education, Hunter Advocacy, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. We're going to be using some of them Hornady rounds here in just a little bit in a Mossberg, which is made down here in Texas as well. And, of course, it's going to be covered with the Stealth Vision scope, and got some Taurus Raging Hunters that we're going to shoot a little bit later, and I've got a 45-70 that I'm going to shoot as well too. It's one of the Rossi rifles, and then of course we put out a bunch of Vineyard Max yesterday. So I'll tell you what, the sponsors are being put to work of this particular segment, and we got last night we started tonight when you come in, this will be I think the third of our required spotlight surveys that we do every year. And got out last night. It was a little bit on the warm side, but all things considered, we saw a very decent amount of deer when it's all said and done. Looks like the fawn crop's going to be pretty good. Buck doe ratio, we're running here, I think probably about a 1 buck to 1.5 does, somewhere along and through there. But the result of the one tonight, and then a few other things that we're doing, we'll work through the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department here in Texas. They have a managed land deer permit, and essentially that allows the landowner to take what needs to come off in terms of bucks and does, and with their couple of different levels, and the level that the Cotton Ranch is on here, we'll do a bunch of habitat work as well too, and so got a chance to kind of run around a little bit yesterday afternoon and then last night. And we'll do some of that today, and then I'll be back one more time. And about that time, it'll be time to go deer hunting.
It's almost here, Larry. Folks, this Larry is down at the Cotton Ranch right now, and I'm at home recording with him. I'll be joining him later on this afternoon, and Bill Carey's coming down, Striper Express. We're going to have a little get-together. William, who's a good friend of the Cottons and become a friend of ours, it will be there. He lives down in that neck of the woods, William does. And maybe, I know Jeff Rice will be there. And I don't know who all, Larry, quite a few people. But you guys are going to be having fun, shooting targets and all those guns that you mentioned, those rifles and handguns and the Hornady ammo. Y'all are going to be blasting away and sighting things in. And I'm going to show up down there in time. I'm going to kid. Time to eat. No, I'll be there. I'll be there a little earlier than that. But I want to tell people, A Sportsman's Life, which is our weekly TV show on Carbon TV. You can watch it. Just go to Carbon TV, A Sportsman's Life. But right now you can watch. Jeff has got that up and running by now, I'm sure. Recap of what's going on. I've got a little cooking segment where I did some grilling of wild pork out on the grill, and then the deer survey. Watch that also. So Larry, that's a lot going on today, but it's all fun stuff, you know.
It is. And of course, the beauty of this show that we do is that generally, in most cases, whenever we film something, you're going to get to see it the following week. As opposed to years ago, I did outdoor television, my gosh, for 30 plus years, I guess, with more traditional, what people consider traditional rather. And, we'd film this fall, and then you'd get to see it next fall. And if you decided you wanted to go hunt that area or go fishing in that area, it would be the following year. So, but here, the beauty of this is we go out and, if we catch something good, if we shoot something good, if we don't, we're going to talk to you and tell you, one of the reasons why probably it didn't work or what worked for us. And of course, always, as you mentioned, there's always a cooking segment in there. Somehow or another, can't quite understand how Luke Clayton always gets to do all the cooking. And, but it's absolutely fantastic, Luke. I'll tell you, the people, I know I get to travel quite a bit, and the traveling I do, I get a lot of good comments about both our radio show and the TV show kind of thing, and we try to make people feel like they're sitting around a campfire with us or out there sitting in the deer blind with us. And from the comments we're getting, I think we're accomplishing at least some of that. So we got so many things coming up this fall. Like you mentioned, we're Bill Carey. I didn't realize Bill likes to shoot handguns.
Yeah, so, he does. Yeah.
Bill's coming down with some handguns, and I brought some of mine, and some of them with scopes, some of them with red dot scopes.
Mm-hmm.
Stealth Vision, Stealth Vision now has a red dot scope, and I just put a red dot of one of theirs on a 45-70 lever action, and then also on my 454 Casull Raging Hunter Taurus handgun that I'm taking here in a few days to Maine to go up there, and we'll film that bear hunt up there as well too. So a lot of good things coming up, and right now is a really good time to get out there and make sure that whatever you're going to shoot this fall is shooting where it's supposed to. And regardless of where you live, do not forget to go and get you the newest hunting license. So it's time to switch licenses for the year or get the new one, and just want to remind everybody about that because conservation costs and your dollars that you spend on the hunting license, I'll tell you what, it goes a long way to support the people that support the wildlife that's out there.
That's true, Larry. Larry, let me tell you and our friends about a project I'm working with right now that's kind of interesting, I think. It's definitely new or innovative. So I've hunted with a bow for about 18 years. That's what I did. Mark Billette got me hooked on it years ago, but that's been years back, and I still hunt with a bow. I'll kill a few hogs through the year and deer hunt with it. But here's the facts with bows nowadays. People think, and many people do spend $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 getting a bow set up.
Yes,
they do. Well, Pyramid Air, I talked to Val Gammerman that owns Pyramid Air. They're not only air guns. They sell bows. They sell thermal. They sell the ATN scopes that I use. They sell they sell top end bows, but they've got a system, and I'm going to work through this with them. Bear Archery, one of the oldest archery companies around.
Oh, yes,
they
sir.
carry the Bear bows. Bear bows are good bows, and you can spend more money, but for about $400 or $500, you can get a quality bow. Now, here's what's different. They're shipping me one. I have a 30-inch draw. They have a patented system. You can go to pyramidair.com, and you can pick out the bow you want. And some of the Bear bows, the one that I got, it's about a $400 and something bow, but it comes with a whisker biscuit, which is an arrow rest. It comes ready to go. Here's a patented thing that hats off to them. This will put bows in a lot of people's hands that couldn't afford one. You type in your draw length, which I've got long arms. Mine's a 30-inch draw length. Okay, so you type in the poundage you want to pull. Well, I used to shoot 65, 70 pounds, but now 55 is what I shoot. and the 55 will do anything you want to do in a hunting situation with a bow, just about. So you type all that in, and you even type the distance from your height for your peep in your string. Type all that into this query thing it's all there at pyramidair.com. And then if you wanted to order arrows, you could just order some arrows to click in there with it. But that system, I'm learning about it, is patented. The way that the bow comes to you, I'm sure I'm going to have to tweak it a little bit, adjust a little bit, but it's pretty much set up ready for the shooter. And I think the total price tag on that thing was around $500, not $1,500 or $2,000. So, and I'm not knocking, spending that kind of money on bows, but there are a lot of people that can afford a brand new $500 quality bow with quality accessories that could not afford a $1,500 one,
That's right.
So anyway, and I thought that would make a good column, and I wanted to make clear to everybody, bow shops and going. That's your for years. That's been a top-notch way to get started in archery. But if you happen to know a little bit about bow shooting, or you want to get started, pyramidair.com and just look at it. Go through the little check system. I think that might help some people, Larry. I really do.
I think it will too. Those guys over at Pyramid Air do such a great job in so many different ways, and the products that they have. If you're into that side of shooting, my gosh, they are. I think you said it's the one site to go to when it comes to anything having to do with air guns. And sounds to me like they're working pretty hard right now to make it the same thing when it comes down to archery as well too.
They've been into archery. I usually, of course, I hunt with some of the big bore air guns, the Dragon Claw and all that. But I don't really highlight the fact. But yeah, they've been in archery for several years, and they also carry the gearhead bows. They carry some top PSEs, the top-notch bows, but I just thought the Bear bow. I know that the Bear archery is some quality stuff.
Oh yes,
and I'll guarantee you, Larry, that $500 bow is going to be leaps and bounds above what the top-notch bows were 12 years ago. Just the technology that's come around. Anyway, I am looking forward right now to joining you guys out up there later this evening. I bet the only problem I see about this, we're going to be out there driving around counting deer, and you're going to be heading up the deer survey later after dark. I will bring a thermal spotter, a monocular type deal there, and that can be helpful too. Spotting those deer at a distance at night. But the only problem I'm seeing is the food. It's going to be hard not to overindulge before we go out.
Yeah, because we'll probably eat before we go out, because we usually start about 9 o'clock.
Yep.
It's usually about 10:30 or so by the time we finish up on these.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling you're right, because I know the Cottons are bringing all kinds of food, and some of they've got some extra guests coming that are bringing some food that's just out of this world good. So
it'll be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of stories told, I'm sure, before the survey starts. And I know we'll sit around the campfire after it's over with and tell a story or two. You
know it. And I will say, good luck to all the dove hunters out there. I can see a lot of charcoal grills under shade trees all across the Lone Star State with some dove breast and jalapenos wrapped in bacon. I know that's happening today. Larry, thank you for being with us, buddy, and I'll see you down there at the Cotton Ranch in Kaufman County a few more hours from now.
It won't be very long. I look forward to see you here then, too, and I got a feeling we'll tell a few more stories around the campfire later this evening.
You know we will. Friends, I want to tell you about an awesome camping destination, Wind Point Park on Lake Tawakoni. It's over on the far east side, kind of the northeast side of the lake. It's a pristine park. You can go there and view, I think they estimated a couple of hundred deer on that couple of hundred acres there. Cabins, beautiful RV park, fishing piers, docks. It's got everything you'd want in an outdoor destination. Check them out online at windpointparktx.com. Folks, I want to introduce you to Vineyard Max. Now, this is an awesome deer attractant, a food attractant that's made with hammer-milled grape skin, dried hammer mill grape skins. It has a mixture of rice bran and also corn chops. Very effective. Deer can smell the scent of grapes from a long way, and it brings them in. I've used it in West Texas out with Larry Weishuhn, and we were out there where deer are not even exposed to grapes, and they came right in. Also, Vineyard Max has a very good line of game and fish feeders. Check them out online, vineyardmax.net. Well, friends, Mr. Larry Weishuhn is going to tell you about the finest hunting optics that we have ever found.
Look, these are called Stealth Vision. They come from Crockett, Texas. Dr. John McCall developed them. They're 34 millimeter tubes as opposed to the narrower tubes, so more light transmission. They have a little green light that comes on. That scope is level because that's when you want to pull the trigger. They have an optional lighted reticle as well too, and a whole lot of other products. And folks can learn more about them by going to stealthvision.com.
Folks, this segment is made possible by Smoking Tex electric smokers that I've been using a long time, Ultramatic feeders. I'd like you to check out the big bore air gun that I've done a great deal of hunting with. It's the Seneca Dragon Claw, 50 caliber, pressures up to 3,000 psi, and it looks like a conventional rifle. Wooden stock. I think you'll like the appearance, and I know you'll like the performance. It shoots not only bullets, but also air bolts as well, tipped with a broadhead. Check it out. It's the Seneca Dragon Claw. Well, friends, with Mr. Whitetail, we're always talking about deer hunting and hunting something. Let's shift gears, go up to Lake Texoma. Now, Mr. Bill Carey, my buddy, is up there, Striper Express. I thought it'd be fun and informative to kind of get an update from Bill. Early September, striper patterns, striper fishing, talk about what's happening right now and then what's going to happen in just a matter of a short time when those gulls start showing up. Bill, thank you, buddy, for being with us.
Well, good morning, Luke, and all y'all out in radio land.
How's Mr. Bill Carey today up there at Lake Texoma? Doing okay?
I'm doing fine. You know, we had a Saturday where people didn't mess it up and all the guys caught fish. If you can catch good fish on Saturday, you're getting it done. I
know there's a lot of pressure on Saturday. There's no question about that. And I'll just throw this out there, folks. If you can plan a time to go to fish with striper fishing up at Texoma, if you can do it through Monday through Friday, Bill, that's a plus, isn't it? There's going to be a lot less people fishing.
Yeah, I tell people, I go Monday through Friday is your first pick, Sunday is your second, and Saturday is your last. And if you have to go on a weekend and you can go on a Sunday, it's day and night difference. It really is.
On a Sunday, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Well, the pressure, Saturday mornings, everybody that fishes will be there. So right now, we're close to a change in the patterns. I know we are. Of course, we're into September now. By this time next month, those gulls, you told me they were beginning to show right now, but by October, numbers should be there, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Folks, we have tens, thousands of real seagulls that come and make the winter here. They'll come in September, and they'll last all the way till after the first of the year. But we'll talk about after the first of the year later because they'll lie to you. But they're good up till New Year's. They're dependable. Where they say when they start flocking over the school of feeding fish, you can pretty much bet there's stripers down there, right? Absolutely. Folks, what goes on is these stripers are schooling fish, and they push bait to the surface. It's not your summertime busting action, but they push that bait, and from there on, that bait can run, but it can't hide. And those birds can see them from that elevated position, and you can get out there, and I just tell people that legendary fall fishing, you just got to be there to believe it. It can be so good. It can, and what I like about fall is the fact that that's those cool weather. You can wear short sleeve or long sleeves, or maybe even a little jacket sometime in October. And it feels good, and those fish, I think they sense somehow. Mother Nature tells them, "Hey, it's time to put on the feed bag." Then you got all the summer hatch of all those shad. And have you ever thought about what a gull actually sees up there? I've thought we have discussed this, but
they have an uncanny way of finding. That's how they make their living, finding bait fish. But I would imagine all those sparkly, shiny little old shad balled up. I would imagine,
Yep.
They're not looking at one fish. They're looking at thousands of fish. I bet that gives them enough vision where they can see down in the water pretty good ways, Bill, I would think.
I agree. You said it, sparkling. It's got to be just sparkling to them, and they spot it from forever away.
Yeah.
And one comes in and the rest come in. And I've always joked. I say, folks, the best tool is not that depth finder, is a pair of binoculars.
Yeah.
You locate those birds, and they are better than these $2,000 fish finders.
Definitely. And that starts, well, it's probably in a week or two that as the patterns in the past have been, you're probably going to be on that type of pattern pretty soon. But slabs are work well in those October, late September, right?
Yes, sir. What's going on is these fish are starting to move out of deep water, and they start coming up those ledges, and they get on the flats. We've got flats all over this lake. A flat, folks, is where you come out of the river channel, deep water, and you get up into what used to be land before the lake was made.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be anywhere from 10 to even as deep as 30 foot. But 10, 15 is a good average depth, and they just move up in there. And, Luke, you've seen it. They come up over that ledge, and they can start surfacing when they hit that shallow water.
Yeah, I remember a couple of different instances where I was fishing with you guys, and on that ledge, it's almost like a breakwater in a way right there. And they, I guess the shad are holding there closer to the deeper water a lot of times. But, yeah, some phenomenal catching that takes place right there, right on the drop-off. So,
yes, sir.
And I know it can be back in there, too, a mile back on a big old flat. But that's what you're looking for right now, that deep water moving up into those flats, yeah. And
they're all feeding, and they've stressed over the summer, because I always joked, every time they come up above that thermocline, they're holding their breath, catching there near the surface. So now they start the feed bag, and they start putting on weight. And the next 6 weeks, they'll look normal, because they lean up in the summer, and they'll just get real big in the girth, and boy, there's nothing. Any size striper will stretch your string and fight you to the finish.
That's true. Yeah, the thermocline, the oxygen pour water below it in the late summer, and I'm sure right now it's settled in. But the water, live bait fishing, I know you've done a lot of that too in the past, Bill. But you drop a live shad. Say the thermocline is set up at, I'm just going to give a number, 18 feet, 20 feet. Say it's 20 feet. You drop a shad down to 25, he's not going to be kicking very long. So it kind of eliminates a lot of the thermocline this time of year, kind of eliminates a lot of water that's low oxygen where the fish, like you say, they can go down. And I've even catfished a lot where say in water 30 foot deep, and maybe the thermocline is 25 foot deep or what, just say 20. I have used, baits and fishing on the bottom and with really good sonar and watch those catfish go down. They can smell it or whatever and get that bait, but they're coming straight back up where the oxygen is in the water, yeah.
Yes, sir. It's fall fishing coming on fast.
Yes, sir. Well, people that are planning trips up there, Bill, to Texoma, and folks all over the Panhandle up in northern Arkansas are listening to us. All down in Georgia, they're listening to us now. I don't know if the folks in Georgia know about Lake Texoma, but if you're listening down there, friends, it's a striper headquarters for the southwest down here, and Texoma's about an hour north of Dallas. So people are planning the trip. So Bill, Mill Creek Resort, there's cabins right there. I mean, it's kind of a one-stop shop when they give you a call, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been doing this a long time. We can make it, bundle it for you, lodging, and then we do a lot of groups, and we've got the meals, and we can do the whole 10 yards. First of all, fishing number one. That's what everybody comes for. Yeah. We can bed you down if you're traveling, or you can drive it in from the city pretty easy. Yeah.
People live in Dallas. I'm in a way unfortunate because I live a bit south of Dallas, so I have to when I come up there, it's either real early in the morning because I detest the traffic at rush hour. I won't do it. It would take an emergency for me to do that. But you can get up really early. I usually don't, though. I usually come up there and spend the night and ready to go, get a good night's sleep, and jump in the boat and go get some fish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I really like to do it. But people
That is the best way.
It is. People within driving range, so a lot of you folks that fish with you do that. I'll tell you something I'm looking forward to also this winter is those blue catfish up there. Catching those things. We caught some tremendous blue catfish last year. I know that's not part of the striper trip, but it's amazing how those things. Texoma has got some big old blues in it too, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I've always said that the blue catfish are Texoma's best kept secret. There's so many,
and they will, but I'm sure that it's because of the shad base, the food. But 25 to 40 pounders in the wintertime, you can pretty much. If that's what you want to catch, to add to some fillets, some striper fillets, you can do it. All that's coming up. Hunting season's coming up, Bill. Everybody listening to us, I know everybody's fired up. I think we're not going to give any real let's put it this way. Mr. Carey and I are making plans to have some fun together. We got together and got a turkey and cooked that turkey out there by a pond out there under a shade tree back in the spring. But we might be eating some venison, Bill. You never know. I think we might. Well, buddy, thanks for the Texoma update. And, you guys, I would say keep catching them, but that's what you do. You keep catching them. And give a number. People might want to give you a call and talk learn more about it. Yeah.
Yeah, folks, you can call us at 903-786-4477. That's 903-786-4477.
Bill, thank you so much, buddy, and we'll talk to you soon. You can keep us tuned in on, especially the fall fishing the next month or two. How about that?
Yes, sirree.
I want to tell you about a one-stop shop for everything related to game feeders and fish feeders, Ultramatic feeders. I've been using components and feeders from Ultramatic feeders for 20-something years, I guess. They have the remote, which you can remotely activate your feeder with, the timer, which is the most simple timer that I've ever found on a game feeder. And then the eliminator, check these out. They are worked on centrifugal force, and they seal off the corn supply so coons and squirrels can't get to the corn. Check them out. Ultramatic feeders, you could go online to ultramaticfeeders.com. Folks, let's talk a little outdoor cooking. Let me tell you about an electric smoker that I've been using for 15 years, I guess. Smoking Tex electric smokers. If you're tired of staying up all night keeping that wood fire burning when you're barbecuing, give Smoking Tex a try. They're made to last a lifetime. You can check them out at smokingtex.com. That's SMOKINTEX.com. For seasonings, anything to do with outdoor cooking, all kind of jerky seasonings, sausage seasonings, Butcher Packer Supply. That's butcherpackersupply.com. I think the website is butcher-packer.com.
Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92 with George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy too.
Friends, this segment is made possible by Platinum Cadillac and Chevrolet in Terrell, Texas. Stop by and visit with my buddy Mr. Justin Rudd and his team of experts and let them put you in a new Chevy pickup or a Cadillac or whatever you might be in the market for. Also, the Choctaw Hunting Lodge up in southeast Oklahoma. Check them out at ChoctawHuntingLodge.com. Also made possible by Pyramid Air, your one-stop shop for everything airgun related. Well, friends, let's talk a little thermal night hunting. Now, that's a subject that requires a little education if you don't know about it or if you haven't done much of it. Now, Mr. Shane Kessler is our guest. He's been with us before. I know enough about thermal. I've used a bunch of different types of thermal. I'm not an expert. Shane is, and that's why I like to have him on, where he can point us all in the right direction with thermal. But there's all different levels of thermal and all different prices. Some you might need, some for your type of hunting you might not need. Shane, thank you for being with us, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me again. I enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoy having you on, and I also appreciate your knowledge. I bet there's a lot of people like me. I've used a lot of different types of thermal. Once I get it sighted in, and I'm good to go. I don't fool with it much. I maybe have to adjust a little bit for conditions a little bit at night, but the varying conditions that we hunt in. But pretty much, I get it sighted in, and I'll check my zero every now and then to make sure I'm still good. But here's what I think will help people that's considering thermal. Now, okay. Now, tell us the name of your operation down there. You're in hog control. That's what you do.
Sir. Yes, sir. We do feral hog control for farmers and landowners here in Central Louisiana area.
Yes, sir.
We cover, I don't know, about 7 parishes and a little over 100,000 acres, and we just bounce from farm to farm. And farmers will call us and say, hey, they're here at this location, and drop a pin, and we're there that night. Setting up on them.
Yes, sir. Now, you have a YouTube. I want people to be able to connect with you, Shane. So,
right.
How do they do that? We'll cover that.
Yeah, you can just do a Google search for Rougarou Hog Control. I know that's kind of a mouthful for some people that's not from Louisiana.
Yeah, Rougarou.
But it's and just look us up. We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all the social media outlets, and plenty of content on there for people to view and engage. And we like having engagement, good and bad. We post it all. If it's a bad shoot, and we still post it anyway.
Yep. Now spell that for us, if you would, please.
So Rougarou is Rougarou.
Okay.
Rougarou.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And folks know that listen to our show all the time. You and every other guest that I have on catfishradio.org. Go there, and my email is there. I promise you, friends, I'll hook you up with Shane or anybody else that's on the show, because all of everybody's got different areas of expertise. So that's what you do, and that's right. You'll pull up on the field, and you'll have your AR set up. I'm going to say maybe you're probably going to have a buddy with you or somebody working.
Oh, yes, sir.
A couple of you or whatever, and you're going to the type equipment, the type thermals that you use, you need something that you can get a good sight picture on out there at maybe 200 yards, possibly. I know you're going to kill most of the hogs closer than that, but you need something to get on there sharp and quick. So that's one style of hunting. And down here in Texas, I like to liken it to pulling up on a big wheat field, 300-acre wheat field. Well, you're going to shoot the hogs that are stationary first, and then you're going to probably be shooting at them running, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big deal. That's a whole different skill level than what I do. Now, and it's not, it's important because it saves the farmers a lot of headaches, what you're doing. I get that. But so what I do, I live close to some really, really lots of hogs where I live, and I'm 26 miles from downtown Dallas, but I'm at the junction of 2 rivers, and there's a 15,000-acre cattle ranch on one side and almost 3,000-acre wetland and woods between them. Tons of hogs, you can imagine. So I set up on my friend's land. Now, they're farmers and cattle ranchers on a couple of 200-acre tract, and the other one is about a 60-acre tract. But they're in the right areas, lots of hogs. So I put up a corn feeder, and I use my ATN. And I want to brag on ATN, and I've used a bunch of different ones, but there's reasons I want to brag on ATN. I know that's what you use too, but it's simple to operate. Even a challenge technical person like me can operate it. But anyway, so what I do, I'll put out a corn feeder, and I'll get the hogs coming in, which is not hard to do. I just set one up, and the next morning I checked it, and they're already on it, a corn feeder. So what I'm doing now, I'm backing my truck up. It sounds to you, it would sound pretty basic. I cut a hole through some brush in a fence line, and I back my pickup up right there. The corn feeder's on the other side, about 45 yards. Yeah. And I got a swivel chair. I get in the back of that truck, and I'll just wait till the hogs come. Now, the unit that I have, I think it's a 320 processor. I believe that's right. It's the Thor LTV model.
Yes, sir.
Now, to me, I think I could probably get by with even a lesser processor for shooting 50, 75 yards. But the 320 to me is actually it's more than I need. I mean, it's
320 is a very capable resolution. And that's something I tell people all the time is whenever they approach me like, man, what kind of thermal do I need to get? And I always start off with, how are you hunting? That's the big thing, if you're doing a lot of driving and scanning fields, and there's a lot of guys who are like, look, I'm just sitting on my deer feeder and I'm waiting for them to come, trying to thin them down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I go with, what kind of features are you looking for? A lot of people are like, look, I just want something I can power on, maybe have a color palette. I'm not really interested in recording. Some of them say, yeah, I wouldn't mind recording, being able to look back at the videos and show my friends and stuff. Yep. So you've got a wide variety of resolutions and lens sizes that's going to accommodate you for your style of hunting. And I try to sway people too. They're like, well, I'm gonna get this 640 unit right here. I'm like, well, that's great. 640 is a fantastic unit. But what you're telling me is you're just gonna be sitting there shooting, 30, 40 yards to a corn feeder or something like that. It may be a little bit more than what some people want to spend, based on how often they're going to use it.
Right. And Shane, let's call a spade a spade. If people's got if money's not an option or not a problem, get the 640. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But for most of us, we have to factor in things like that. I mean, I know, being an outdoor rider, I get to use all kinds of stuff. But I mean, the fact is, if you buy that one, that's going to cost you more money. Now, here's a question: the 320. Sure. What is the small? Is it a 256? What's the lesser? There is a very basic unit, isn't it?
There are some 160s out there.
Yeah.
And then I always try and tell everybody. I personally, I don't like going below a 320 in resolution.
Right.
Especially for my style of hunting, or if you may be doing some run and gun type stuff where you're jumping from field to field, doing scans and stuff like that.
Right.
And then, a lot of people don't take into consideration too when they're purchasing a thermal is moisture degrades your image quality.
Yes.
And I don't care what manufacturer it is, they're all going to have this problem. Moisture will degrade your image quality. Humidity, dew point, fog, rain, they're all going to have an impact on your image quality. So the higher the resolution you are, the better image quality you're going to have when you have inclement weather.
Exactly. Price-wise, and we're not trying to quote exact prices, but just to give people an idea, and ATN is the one that you're very knowledgeable of at ATN Corporation. They're one of the oldest, I think, in the U.S., really, thermal companies. The one, the price-wise from, I guess, the Thor LTV, roughly speaking, I mean, what would a person...
We've got thermal optics that, that are running just a little bit over $1,500 to $2,000, all the way up to, $4,000 or $5,000.
Right.
It's just it all depends on your budget and the model.
Yep. And those prices, honestly, I still talk to people that have never even used thermal, and the first thing I hear a lot of times, Shane, is, "Oh man, I could never. That's thousands of dollars for one of those things." But it doesn't have to be. One like I've got is not thousands of dollars. It's and it's quite. Trust me, you can see a mouse on the ground under a feeder. I mean, it's plenty good. It's plenty good, and it does record video. And what I like about mine, the LTV model, one touch of that button, that top left button, and it's recording. And
simplicity.
It's simplicity. Shane, I'll tell you what, I want to visit some more with you. Would you stand by? We need to take a little break, and let's come back. I want to talk some more thermal with you. How about that?
Sure.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Folks, hang with us. We're going to get Shane back, and we're going to learn a few more things. For about the past decade, I've been hunting editor for Air Gun Hobbyist magazine. I think the only magazine devoted strictly to air gun shooting and hunting in the country. Well, in that length of time, I've learned quite a bit about big bore air guns and smaller calibers too. A spot to go to that if you're interested in air guns, you need to know about Pyramid Air. The website is PYRAMYD, pyramidair.com. They have anything and everything you need, from the guns themselves, the big bores or the smaller calibers, to the accessories. Just remember pyramidair.com, and there's a number when you get on the website if you need to call and talk to somebody. Give them a buzz, and they can fill you in on little details that you might need to know about shooting or hunting with big bore air guns.
The snowflakes fall as winter comes, and time just seems to fly.
Friends, this segment is brought to us by CVA muzzleloaders. In my opinion, the very best muzzleloaders in the world, the ones that I shoot. You can check them out online, cva.com. Kubi's Wild Game Processing and Kubi's Restaurant in Dallas, and Vineyard Max, maker of some awesome deer attractant and some very fine game feeders and fish feeders, located down in Nacogdoches, Texas. Check them out at vineyardmax.net. Well, friends, thanks for staying with us. We are back with Mr. Shane Kessler, and we're talking about thermal scopes. Shane, thank you for hanging in here. I've got some more questions for you. And I think that people glean a lot of information from casual talk with some, especially somebody that the only way you can learn how to do anything is do a bunch of it. And you, through your hog control for many years and hunting hogs, you've learned a lot. And I've been hunting hogs. Yes, I mean my hog hunting and yours is a way different level. I'm hunting them one at a time. And to be quite honest with you, we've talked about this, but I pick out a fat gilt. I mean, if there's a big old, I've shot a lot of boar and hunted them with dogs and everything else. But when I'm usually in a meat market when I'm out hunting. That's the truth too. So I'm looking for one. Shot placement. Now this would show the difference in the way we hunt. That first, people say, shoot them in the head. Well, good luck with that is all I got to say. I mean, you hit one in the brain, it's not going anywhere. But that even what I'm doing, shooting a hog at 50 yards or whatever, close in, that hog is probably out moving around, eating, feeding on corn or whatever, acorns on the ground. That head's always moving. Shane, I learned years ago. I find the jaw. It's easy to define on a hog, and I place that bullet right behind the jaw, and he don't run. And I shoot a little. I use a little 223, to be honest with you. A CVA, I think we've talked about that, a Cascade, the Varmint Hunter, a little light. Well, it's not light, but it's short, and with that ATN scope. So I can pick my shots, and I do. I'm thinking, well, why mess up extra meat? And I don't want to be out here at night tracking this hog. So, but that's a total different ball game than what you're doing. I bet you those first hogs, when you come up and there's a sounder of 10 hogs out in the field, what are you going to aim at first? I mean,
so the way we do it is, if I'm hunting by myself, I'll try and pick out the biggest sow that I can, or the biggest boar.
Yep.
Or the pig that I think is the alpha.
Yep.
The leader of the whole sounder. And you can watch and you can tell which ones are the head honcho, so to speak.
Yep.
And those are the ones I go for first. I call it dumbing them down. You start taking out the smart ones, and then the smaller, dumber ones. They kind of really feed based on how their stomachs are. They don't care what it is. They're hungry. They're coming out their feet.
Right.
Whereas you may have that lead sow or lead boar, they're more kind of standoffish before they come in, that kind of thing.
Like an old buck, like an old smart buck.
Yeah. So I'll target them first. And I always shoot it like you're shooting for that right behind that jaw area. And it's the same thing I tell new shooters when they come with us. I said, it's not deer hunting. You can shoot them behind the shoulder, and that's perfectly acceptable. But they are self-sealing gas tanks.
They are.
Unless they drop right there, good luck finding blood.
Yep, exactly.
And yeah, so I tell everybody I go from in front of the front shoulder to behind the ear.
Perfect.
That block.
Perfect.
And most of the time, it'll anchor them right there.
That's it.
But there are times you hit them right there, and they still going to run.
A hog is a tough. I don't know any. I've guided for elk and bear up in the mountains and hogs here. I used to for fun more than anything else, the guiding on the hogs. But they're as tough an animal, especially a bigger boar. And really, Shane, the behind the shoulder thing is going to. If you're going to do any tracking, that's usually where you're going to hit one.
It'll discourage people as well because they're like, man, I can't believe I missed that pig. And
I know they think
9 times out of 10 you didn't.
I know it, and a hog carries his vitals forward and lower than a deer. That's just about
right.
If you shoot like a deer, when I'm hunting a deer, I'm always thinking venison meat. But if it's a good standing shot, I'll shoot that deer right at the back crease of that shoulder. Well, I didn't mess up the shoulder meat, and that's a heart lung shot with a deer.
Yeah.
But it's not with a hog, is it? No.
And some of the size of some of these boars, some of these older boars, how thick that side plate is.
Ooh, yeah, yep.
It could be over an inch thick, and it's just that blood just does not want to come out.
It doesn't, and that's something that people that hunt hogs need to think about too. Now, people, I write for a newspaper column. It's in about 52 newspapers in Texas every week. You know that, but I write about hunting hogs a whole lot. And I'll mention that I'm using a 223, and I get some flack. Wait a minute, 223?
Yeah.
What if you hit that shield? Well, I'm not going to hit the shield. I'm not shooting 100 yards. I'm shooting at a hog that's 50 yards. I won't say standing still, but he's not moving. I'm not going to aim at that shield. That wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm the first to say that. You hit that hog with a 223, a big old boar with a. Now, I don't know if it would. Be honest with you, I don't know if it'd penetrate. Maybe it would, but
man, the advances in ammo nowadays, especially on a 223, like all my guest guns. I used to run everything was 308 to 308.
Yeah.
And we'd get some guests in here, and man, the AR 308s, they get to be some heavy jokers.
They do. Yep.
And for some people, you walking 600-700 yards across the muddy bean field, that's not a pleasant experience.
I know.
And so we roll back, and just basically all the guests are shooting 223 now.
Oh, good,
and
good.
When we're running green tips on our 223s, and they are flat rolling them.
That's good to know.
They do a job on them for sure.
Yep. I shoot Hornady ammo. That Hornady's one of our sponsors, and they do make, there's no question about Hornady. They make good good animal. I realize everybody
yeah.
doesn't shoot it, but I have good luck with that. But I don't know. I don't know when I've shot a big boar honestly in the shoulder with that armor plate, I call it, with anything for that matter,
Right.
223
Yep.
even a heavier one.
Yep.
But yeah, so you'll go ahead and probably say those 10 hogs that we're talking about. Well, you'll drop the alpha hog, and people say, what are they talking about? Well, you're talking about the one that's using that snout, knocking those other ones around, and you can just tell a dominant hog. Yeah, the bully, right?
Yep.
Hey, knock that one out. It might be a big old sow too. It could be.
Yep, that's right.
So knock that one out, and then they're going to be on the move. Then, aren't they?
Yep.
There's where the skill comes in. You could go out. I could go out with you. You could take me out, and I guarantee you, I've just not done it. I've not shot that many running hogs. A few, but by running, it's they spook too quick and they start trotting away from the feeder, and I shoot one. But there is a lot lead. I mean, I'm an old shotgunner too, and you better know where to hold. I mean, a hog running full out. That rascal, they're going. They might be 25 or 30 miles an hour, right?
And I tell people too, some people don't take this consideration. Shooting at a moving pig at night with thermal is considerably different than shooting at a animal during the daylight with a glass optic, because you're very capable of judging that distance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas at night, it's very hard. I love the ATMs. They've got the built-in laser rangefinders, so it takes a lot of that guesswork out of it. But if you don't have something that tells you the yardage, and I tell people this too, a larger pig is going to look closer than what he actually is, and a smaller pig is going to tend to look farther away than what he actually is.
Makes sense. It does.
So and I tell them, watch for your bullet splash. And then adjust your Kentucky windage accordingly.
That makes sense. It's a whole different ball of wax shooting it the way you're hunting these hogs, and it's all about getting on them, and it's just there's a lot of factors involved.
There's a lot of variables, and for us, it's all about trying to put rounds on target, and we're talking about. Some of these bigger pigs and the plating on the side of them, how they soak those rounds up.
Yep.
You can have a pig and you're shooting at him running, and you're like, I am not hitting him. And then when he finally falls, and you get over there and you start looking at the body, and you're like, well, gosh, I hit him 6 times while he was running, and it took that long for him to finally, to bleed out internally to where we could finish him off, or he just dies right there.
Well, the hogs are here to stay. To be honest with you, I was raised up in Red River County, northeastern Texas, between the Red River and the Sulphur River. And even back when I was a little boy in the late 50s, early 60s, there was guys that would take dogs and go down on the Sulphur River, talk about hunting boar, And occasionally they weren't, not nearly as many as after the boom of hogs, and it happened back in the 80s, but there were huntable numbers back in those, cane breaks and all that kind of stuff back then. But now, they're just fun to hunt. I love to hunt them. I really do. I know they're a pest, and I've got farmer buddies that just, they for good reason they hate them, But to me, I get a lot of fun. I know you do too. If you hunt them all the time, if you eradicate them all the time, you're not gonna kill them all, Shane. But
we're not.
Yeah.
We have some fields that we're doing a good job holding them back. And we got other fields where it's just like, when you go into that field, there's going to be a pig or pigs there.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Especially ones that are like border and like wildlife management areas or refuges or something like that, to where they can't hunt in them year round or at night. So it's just like a breeding factory, and these farmers that are unfortunately up next to these places, that's something that they've got to deal with.
Oh yeah. Well, Shane, thank you a lot for being with us. I think our conversation probably has helped some people that that might be borderline, they can go to the ATN is easy to find. Just Google it or go online and look at the different models and look at some of your stuff too on YouTube. I'd like them to do that. You've got some great stuff. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, do that. And we'll get you back. I like to get you on from time to time. And
I enjoy it. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I know for a fact that it would help me. These conversations would help me if I were on borderline thinking, what do I want to get? Do I want to get in thermal? Yeah, I know it's helped some people. So anyway, thank you very much, buddy. I do appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
And folks,
thank you for having me.
You bet, Shane. And folks, we are out of time. I hope you've enjoyed our show. Remember, catfishradio.org. If you want to contact me, you can go right there. My email address is there. Fire me an email. I promise to get right back with you. Folks, that about wraps our show up for this week. I've enjoyed being with you, and I hope you had a good time, too. And, folks, we're also brought to you by the Choctaw Hunting Lodge up in southeast Oklahoma, located about, 45 minutes west of Hugo, Oklahoma, owned by the Choctaw Nation. It's about 45,000 acres of awesome mountain, country, hills, valleys, loaded with game. Lots of eastern turkey, and they do eastern turkey hunts if you're looking for a spot to hunt turkey in the spring.